News at 6:30 starts now.
The stage is set, roads are closed, and revelers are arriving. The city is ready to celebrate the new year.
Some families are already ringing in 2026 with a countdown at noon.
But first, taking a live look outside, some snow showers moving through the area tonight. There was even some rain today. As temperatures drop, roads could become slick, so you'll want to be careful if you're heading out tonight.
Meteorologist Larry Mowry is joining us now with just how the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast is shaping up. Larry.
Yeah, over the next couple of hours, temperatures will nosedive. We've been in the mid-30s most of the day today, but now temperatures are dropping, and by midnight tonight we'll be at 17 degrees. The good news is the precipitation is starting to taper off from north to south, so we're looking at dry weather through most of the evening hours and overnight tonight, but we'll bottom out in the lower teens tomorrow morning. So let's check the radar. Live Doppler 7 Max radar. It's dry from O'Hare up to the northern suburbs, but from the city southward, still some snow showers and some rain mixed in as well, even some reports of sleet. Now you see this real thin blue line? That's the actual cold front, and behind the front things are drying out, but temperatures are dropping. It's down to 30 now in Waukegan. Head of the front, that's where we got the mixed bag of rain and snow showers. Fortunately, temperatures have stayed above freezing through most of the day, so we didn't have any major problems on the roadways outside of them being just wet and kind of rain covered at times. But as we look to the north, things are drying out, but temperatures will continue to drop. And again, by midnight, we're in the teens with mostly clear skies. And then tomorrow morning, we'll drop off into the lower teens and some single digits. We got a cold day tomorrow and kind of a cold weekend, but milder weather for next week. We'll have your full forecast coming up.
That sounds good, Larry. Chicago gearing up for the biggest party of the year, ringing in 2026 by showing off on the national stage.
For the first time ever, our city is set to host a central time zone countdown on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. Massive crowds expected to gather along the Riverwalk tonight, and that is where ABC7's Rob Hughes has the latest.
Dick Clark's is like legacy, and this is the first time it's coming to Chicago, so I really wanted to be here for it.
A long-time New Year's Eve tradition, shining the spotlight on Chicago for the first time. Crews putting the finishing touches on the stage, leading up to a full slate of performances, capped off just before midnight with Chicago's own Chance the Rapper. Chance taking the stage this afternoon for a quick sound check and impromptu concert.
We were just kind of watching, and because at first it was just the choir, and then he kind of came forward. I was like, wait, he's here.
And as Chicago gets set to serve as the host city for the inaugural Central Time Zone countdown for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, revelers aren't sure what to expect.
Yeah, so we were like texting back and forth, and we're like, how early do you think we should show up? And I was like, we should do 10. And she's like, I think like 2 to 3 hours before. And I was like, compromise, let's do noon.
These two likely the first people to show up to make sure they have a good spot. But thanks to the dreary weather, they don't have much competition yet.
I just expect a huge crowd, honestly. Eventually some people will show up and we'll have a good time and we'll see the fireworks and enjoy New Year's Eve.
And while the cold and rain may have delayed plans for some, it hasn't dampened the excitement from those already here or from Chicago city leaders.
It's about time, right? You know, the Central Standard Time Zone countdown in the city of Chicago. This is where it should have always been. And so this is yet another opportunity for the people of the world to be able to see the beauty of our city.
I hope everybody starts to agree with us. Chicago is the best city in the whole world.
Rob Hughes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Well, don't forget, you can ride for free on the CTA tonight. You don't have to pay a dime when boarding trains and buses between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. today into tomorrow. Metra also offering free rides on New Year's Eve. All trains arriving into and out of downtown after 6 p.m. will not require fare. No alcohol will be allowed on trains after 7 p.m. and several trains will wait to leave Chicago until after 1 a.m.
It's going to be packed here, but more than 1 million people expected to pack Times Square for tonight's celebration.
And we're going to take a live look right now. Here is Times Square tonight in New York City. ABC's Rita Roy is in Times Square with the very latest.
For millions around the globe, it's already 2026. Celebrations from the Great Wall in China with musical performances and light shows to Bangkok, Dubai, and Australia. And right here in the U.S., we are also gearing up to celebrate the new year. The biggest party, of course, in the heart of New York City's Times Square, the crossroads of the world.
Did you come all the way from South Korea to be here tonight?
Yeah!
You guys excited?
Yeah!
Security is tight, with the nation's largest police department putting every officer on the job tonight.
The public should expect to see thousands of NYPD officers deployed throughout Times Square and the surrounding area. That includes officers from our specialized units.
A ramped up police presence across the country, too, in places like Chicago and New Orleans, where the National Guard is out in force after that deadly car ramming attack during last year's celebrations that killed 14 people.
Officials say there are no credible or known threats at this time, but according to a law enforcement assessment obtained by ABC News, New York remains an aspirational target. In Times Square, Rena Roy, ABC News.
And instead of resting, Ryan Seacrest spent the morning at the NASDAQ.
The guy's superhuman, I'm telling you. He rang the final closing bell of the year and gave a preview of tonight's big show.
Tonight, we are going to break records with the longest show in history, the most jam-packed show in history with talent. We'll be all across the country. We'll be live in Times Square. We'll be live in Puerto Rico, Chicago, and Las Vegas. And we've got everybody from 50 Cent. We've got K-pop Demon Hunters. If you were popular in 2025, you're with us tonight for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with me, Ryan Seacrest. Just before midnight, Diana Ross will take the stage.
It's so cool to hear him say Chicago.
It is.
It's
That's
awesome.
very exciting.
Yeah, Seacrest says they've been rehearsing since noon. Well, ABC7, the place to watch Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest. It kicks off in just a few minutes at 7 p.m. Then Eyewitness News is early at 9 o'clock. Karen and I will be here with you. And Cheryl Scott and Terrell Brown will be back for the dance. That's at 9:15, and then we'll head back out to hang out with Ryan Seacrest and the gang at 9:30.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
It's going to be a good night.
But kids already had some kid-friendly noon year celebrations. That's a brilliant idea. You know, they took place across Chicagoland this afternoon, including the annual Bubble Bash at the DuPage Children's Museum.
That sounds like something that'd be fun for adults. That's where we find ABC7's Jasmine Miner with all this fun.
Whether it was the bubbles or the confetti, the museum had a little bit for everyone today, selling 850 tickets for this event. It gave a chance for the parents to wear out the kiddos a little bit, and then the parents to get a night to themselves. 3, 2, 1. The DuPage Children's Museum knows how to put on a show.
Mommy, I want to do it again.
So much so that Lizzie and her little sister Maddie are ready to experience it all again.
Bubbles.
We started downstairs where there were hot chocolate, some different experiments. There were catapults that they were doing, launching the cotton balls across the room.
For the Brocker family, the tickets to the 23rd Bubble Bash New Year's Eve event was a Christmas gift from a family member. One of the best gifts, especially for parents.
We wake up at 6 a.m. no matter if we're in school or not, so noon is perfect for us. Because as parents, it's like midnight for us.
So our goal here is to get kids really excited, burn off a lot of energy so that hopefully you go home, you put your kids to sleep.
The countdown happens at noon, and for 8-year-old Andrew Temps, he burns that energy on the dance floor.
I wasn't dancing earlier, but I am into break dancing.
The dancing is one aspect, but each room here has something different.
Make reservations, play with the light bright, and do a lot of drawing and shadow capturing.
It's one of the many kid-friendly celebrations happening in the Chicagoland area, including up north in Glenview at the Coles Children's Museum with the DJ-led disco party, complete with custom party hats and noisemakers.
If you sleep under a tree.
Wherever families found time to celebrate, the goal is to kick off the new year in the right way.
We want to move into the new year with positive intentions. We want to work with our kids. We want to learn. We want to grow. Here at the museum.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! The fun doesn't stop here. The DuPage Children's Museum has lots of fun activities going throughout the rest of winter, including an indoor skating rink that will be open through February. I'm in Naperville, Jasmine Miner, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
It looks like a lot of fun. We were just discussing, remember when our kids were young enough to have to go to those early events.
Right.
And now they're old enough to stay up late.
Actually asking to watch the ball drop and later than that here in Chicago.
We'll be watching it tonight. Well, still to come, the Pope delivers a message for the new year.
And Mayor Brandon Johnson gets into a war of words with Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino over snowplows in Chicago.
And the owner of this truck went viral. Why he could be going viral again.
Individuals from 7 more countries will not be able to travel to the United States starting tomorrow. That is according to updated Customs and Border Protection guidance obtained by ABC News. The countries impacted are Burkina Faso, Laos, Mali, Niger, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Syria. President Trump signed executive orders earlier this year limiting travel from those countries. The ban continues on people from several other countries.
War of words on social media between Chicago's mayor and the U.S. Border Patrol chief. It started when Greg Bovino posted on X as saying federal agents are not leaving Chicago anytime soon, writing, quote, "We're going to be here for years." He then posted again, seeming to call out Mayor Johnson and talking about this city's snowplow naming contest and the mayor's support of naming a plow, quote, "abolish ICE." Well, Johnson responded, correcting Bovino's grammar and writing, "Reality check, Greg. Chicagoans vote on the snowplow names, the same people who want you out of our city." It's always a big one to name the snowplows, now causing a little controversy.
That's right. Well, this fall, the Trump administration's sweeping immigration enforcement operation targeting our area dominated the news this year.
Resulted in hundreds of arrests, sparking mass protests and legal battles that continue to this day. We're looking back at Operation Midway Blitz tonight, and a note: some people's faces are blurred because it's not clear if they face criminal charges. September 8th is the official start date of what the Department of Homeland Security calls Operation Midway Blitz. Federal agents began taking alleged undocumented immigrants into custody across the area, saying agents were going after the, quote, "worst of the worst" in an effort to improve public safety across the region. Just days later, the first deadly shooting tied to the operation. Federal agents in Franklin Park pulling over Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, then shooting him to death when they say he drove toward them, causing one officer to suffer what DHS at the time called, quote, "severe injuries." On September 16th, Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino announced his arrival in Chicago. He would become a central figure in many controversies over the actions of CBP agents. On September 23rd, ABC7 obtaining body camera video from the deadly shooting in Franklin Park. It captured the officer who was allegedly dragged by the suspect's car, describing his own injuries as, quote, "nothing major." Operation Midway Blitz brought a massive amount of attention to the western suburb of Broadview, home to an ICE processing facility. The immigration crackdown brought a surge in activity, and with that, regular demonstrations. Protesters sometimes attempting to block vehicles entering or leaving the facility. Federal agents making frequent use of tear gas and pepper balls, with journalists and bystanders often coming under fire. Near the end of September, Governor J.B. Pritzker announced the federal government's plans to send military personnel to our area, with the stated goal of protecting immigration officers and federal facilities. On September 30th, military Black Hawk helicopters were used in a raid of a South Shore apartment building, during which several U.S. citizens were detained, residents telling us they felt like they were in a war zone. Elected officials often getting caught up in immigration operations. On October 3rd, Alderperson Jesse Fuentes put in handcuffs after confronting agents at a hospital in Albany Park. One day later, a second shooting involving federal agents. The government said at the time that an agent shot and injured a woman after she rammed one of their vehicles with her own. But the woman's attorney said it was the agent who crashed into her vehicle, not the other way around. Weeks later, the Department of Justice moved to dismiss all charges against the woman without explanation. On October 6, Chicago and the state of Illinois filed suit against the Trump administration in a bid to block the deployment of National Guard members from Texas. Days later, a federal judge would issue a temporary restraining order against the deployment, although the legal battle continues today. In a separate case, Chicago journalists and unions sued the government over what they called an excessive use of force by agents against members of the media and protesters, including at the ICE facility in Broadview. It would lead to an order restricting the tactics used by those agents. On October 7th, our cameras captured the arrival of Texas National Guardsmen in the Chicago area. Many were sent to that facility in Broadview. On October 28th, Commander Greg Bovino appeared in front of a federal judge to answer for alleged violations of her order restricting agents' use of force, including Bovino himself tossing a can of tear gas at protesters. The government claimed Bovino had been hit with a rock thrown by demonstrators, but the judge said video evidence disproved this. and Bovino admitted in court that the rock throwing happened after he used the tear gas, not before. The Broadview ICE facility entering headlines again on October 31st when an emergency federal lawsuit was filed alleging, quote, abusive and cruel conditions inside the ICE facility there. In mid-November, Commander Bovino and many Border Patrol agents would leave Chicago for other cities. Plaintiffs in the use of force case moved to dismiss their own lawsuit, but the government insisted immigration operations were not ending. And indeed, on December 16th, Bovino was spotted once again in Chicago, along with agents deploying tear gas as they carried out more arrests in the city and suburbs. The government still refuses to reveal how many agents are in the Chicago area and how long they will remain, saying only that Operation Midway Blitz continues. You can watch this story and all of our year in review pieces on our website, ABC7Chicago.com.
Well, the new year has already begun in places on the other side of the world. We'll take you to those celebrations.
And a live look outside as we head to break. The new year will start with colder weather. There's our Navy Pier camera. Larry Maurer is with us tonight. He's got a very sharp jacket on. He's got your AccuWeather forecast next. People around the world celebrating a fresh start and a fresh new year already. ABC's Jacqueline Lee watching all the parties from Los Angeles. She joins us live tonight with more. Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey, Rob and Karen. So cities around the world are ringing in the new year in typical fireworks fashion, but some areas have canceled events altogether due to security concerns. New Zealand among the first in the world to celebrate 2026's arrival, with a countdown projected onto Auckland's iconic Sky Tower and a spectacular fireworks show.
How is it? Oh, it's an experience. It's cool. I'm with my friend. It's funny. Maybe it's a bit long, but it's okay.
Some celebrations muted this year. In Sydney, Australia, lines wrapping around the Opera House and Harbour Bridge. The New Year's Eve fireworks featuring a tribute to the victims of this month's Bondi Beach terror attack with a minute of silence. Phone flashlights pointed towards the sky to symbolize solidarity with the Jewish community and those affected by the attack. In Indonesia, cities scaled back New Year's Eve festivities to honor communities devastated by catastrophic floods and landslides that struck parts of Sumatra Island a month ago, killing more than 100 people. In Hong Kong, an immersive light show and countdown, the government calling off the usual fireworks display over Victoria Harbour to honor those killed in that high-rise apartment building fire. Yeah! Oh! In Taiwan, thousands gathering to welcome the new year. The fireworks display one of its most watched events on television. In Croatia, swimmers braving nearly below freezing temperatures for a celebration at high noon. And as we move around the globe, in the United Arab Emirates, fireworks around the world's tallest building in Dubai. In Qatar, a synchronized drone show, marking the first of its kind celebration in the history of that country. And you gotta love the lights and the energy, but here on the West Coast, we have to wait just a little bit longer to welcome in 2026. Happy New Year, guys. In Los Angeles, Jacqueline Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. And Pope Leo held his last general audience of the year in St. Peter's Square today. He spoke in Italian to the thousands of faithful about a year punctuated by both happy and a painful moment. And he said a holiday wish in English.
To all of you and your families, I offer my prayerful good wishes for a blessed Christmas season and a new year filled with joy and peace. God bless you all.
Go Bears.
Exactly. As it often happens, the pontiff stopped to bless children and babies during his journey through the square. Hopefully he said a little prayer under his breath for that game.
Yeah, we cut that part out because we didn't want to be too biased. Let's take a live look outside right now. Oh, it's a little wet out there. It's transitioning maybe to snow tonight. Larry's got his finest formal attire on with us, tracking all that weather. How you doing?
Fancy jacket tonight. Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. You know, the precipitation's coming to an end, so that's the good news, but there's still moisture out there, and as temperatures drop into the teens overnight tonight, there could be some slick spots on some of those roadways as some of that moisture freezes up. But most of the activity in terms of the snow is now pushing south of the city, and we'll see those temperatures falling into the low 20s by 10 o'clock, teens by midnight, and lower teens first thing tomorrow morning with mostly cloudy skies this evening and some clearing overnight tonight. But check out the wind chills. Over the next few hours, we'll drop into the single digits for wind chills. By midnight, it's down around 0. That's what it's going to feel like. And tomorrow morning, wind chills will be below 0 to start our Thursday morning, and not much recovery Thursday afternoon with wind chills still pretty much in the single digits during the afternoon. Here's a look at live Doppler 7 Max radar. A lot of the activity has now shifted southward, and it's still kind of mixing with rain, if not all rain, down to the south of I-80. A few flurries here around the city at the moment, and then a band of some snow that's just pushed past Midway, pushing down towards the southern parts of Cook County, down towards Gary and Merrillville. That's the actual cold front, that little thin blue band. That's where the front is moving southward, and behind the front, temperatures will drop off over the next few hours. Still kind of a mixed bag of rain and snow from Rensselaer to Kankakee over towards Joliet, but temperatures there are still above freezing. Where temperatures are below freezing is up here across Wisconsin, and that's the colder air that filters in later this evening and overnight tonight. So again, by 11 o'clock tonight, right around 20 degrees. We'll bottom out in the lower teens and some single digits tomorrow morning. Cloudy skies tomorrow. Some snow showers possible around midday, roughly from the city northward. A couple snow showers will occur. And then by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, just mostly cloudy skies and temperatures back into the teens for tomorrow night into Friday morning. So tomorrow is going to be a cold day. Highs only in the lower 20s with some snow showers and flurries around from the city up to the north. Our high today, 35, 26 the low, 33 and 21 the average high and average low here on the last day of the year. So there goes our front for tonight. Tomorrow, here's that little clipper system that'll bring parts of the area some snow. Still cold tomorrow with a high of 21. Friday, we're still in the 20s with a high of 28 degrees with some peaks of sunshine. This weekend, I'll keep temperatures in the 20s on Saturday. Some sunshine Saturday, more cloud cover on Sunday with temperatures right around 30. A couple snow showers to the north on Sunday. I think most of us will stay dry, but as we head into Monday, that's when we get into milder weather with highs in the 40s by the time we get to Monday. Tonight it turns colder, wind chills below 0 by daybreak, dropping into the lower teens and some single digits. 21 tomorrow, 28 on Friday, 27 on Saturday, and 29 on Sunday for the Bears game. Looking mainly dry on Sunday, although there could be some snow showers later in the day after the game. And then next week, get ready. Mild weather, 40s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Thursday and Friday next week will be in the 40s as well. Just not much sunshine, but at least they'll be in the 40s for most of next week, which is pretty mild for this time of year considering our average highs are in the low 30s.
You know what, that's going to be a very pleasant change.
I think so too.
Milder temperatures.
A couple cold days and we'll warm things
You
back
wonder
up.
how long it'll last too.
Well, at least the first, all of next week and a few days into the following week will probably stay mild, but there are signs that it turns colder by the middle of January.
Okay, how about it? Thanks, Larry. You can get the latest forecast anytime with the free ABC7 Chicago News app. Scan that QR code on your screen and you'll get a link to download.
Well, we will have one last sneak peek of the dance after the break.
All right, first, a driver in Indiana we told you about went viral for his terrible truck, has a new reason to smile in the new year. Stick around, got to see this. How about a heartwarming story to end 2025? A famous driver who had a beat up pickup truck in Indiana. Well, he's getting a new truck.
So Marcellus or Mo Riles has been driving this green Chevy Silverado through South Bend. You can see the cab. It's really bent almost near, like, how is it even driving? But now he has a new Chevy pickup, and it is all thanks to the community. A local businessman started a GoFundMe last month, which raised the money to help buy Mo the new truck. It is decked out with all the latest technology.
To me, it's like trying to fly the space shuttle. I'm so appreciative to this community. I've said it time and time, it's not about me. It's the efforts of a man who saw a stressful situation for another human being, and it could have been anybody, any resident here in South Bend, and they would have been treated the same.
That's great. Well, Mo says he will be telling stories about his beat-up pickup truck for a long time, and he's thankful for the man who made this all happen.
Got to be a small part of him who will miss that truck.
Yeah, I'm sure, a little bit.
Until he gets into that with the heated seats and the great technology.
Yeah, no doubt. So there is another big drop tonight, this one in Whiting, Indiana.
Residents there will ring in the new year with the 10th annual pierogi drop. This is video from a previous celebration. The event features a 10-foot illuminated pierogi that will drop 50 feet at midnight. We've been there in the past. There'll be fireworks, food, live entertainment, and more. It all starts at 8 tonight at the Whiting Knights of Columbus Hall on 119th Street. Don't know if there's a statue of Liz Nagy, who was famous for her coverage out there many, many years ago.
Oh, yeah, they love her out there. All right, let's get another look at Times Square tonight. The countdown to Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest is on, and the show kicks off in just minutes. It features dozens of performances tonight, some really big names. Exciting about that. There's also countdowns from coast to coast to kick off 2026.
That's a lot of people out there. You can watch it all on ABC7, and as Karen mentioned, the show begins in just about a minute at 7 p.m. There's also a Chicago New Year's Eve tradition. It is returning.
Yes, so exciting. Okay, take a look at this. We have some new behind-the-scenes video of the dance with Terrell Brown and Cheryl Scott. You don't want to miss it. That is 9:15 right here on ABC7. And that's a reminder that our Eyewitness News is starting early at 9 p.m. tonight over on ABC7.
The three of us don't have to dance, right?
Well,
you don't want to see that.
Surprise!
No, I bet you're a great dancer. We're back at 9. We're super excited. Hope you join us again soon.